Hey, good morning. Good morning, good morning. This is Tuesday Talks at 10:30, Connecting to Spirit with Stacy. I'm Stacy Niedenthal, where we come together on Tuesdays and talk. So I'll wait for a few minutes until I see people are on. But good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Let me know that you're here. Say hi. Whoops. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Hello. Good morning, Denise. Good morning, Leslie. Good morning. Good morning, Jeffrey. I love you. Just wanted to do something here. There we go. Good morning, Christopher. How's everybody doing? So today is today's Tuesday at 10:30, where we get together every Tuesday and we talk about different things. This is Connecting to Spirit with Stacy, but I like to just talk about things that maybe you're not comfortable in talking with other people about. So, we talk about meditation, we talk about grief, we talk about death and dying, we talk about mediumship, all these things that we want to talk about just to be able to find like wholeness, coming back home, finding that place within yourself where you're comfortable with looking yourself in the mirror and saying, I know who you are. So I always like to start with my intention. My name is Stacy. I am a child of God. I'm a spiritual healer. I'm an evidential medium. And I've been given a gift from God to channel spirit using love and light for my higher good and the higher good of those that God puts in my path. I'm not the medium that says I see death all around you and you're going to be dead in 10 days. My gift, my prayer is that God, that spirit, that angels bring in the most loving message to help your spirit heal. So if you were to come to me to do a reading, this would be part of the intention that you would hear. I feel like I need to lift myself up a little bit here. Let's whoop. There we go. I feel like I'm looking down at the camera. How's that? There we go. So I have a couple exciting events that are coming up that we want to talk about. So September 13th, I'm doing a gallery reading at the State Theater in Havre de Grace. All the links are posted under events, but if you have any questions about that, just reach out to me. On the 14th, the following night, we're doing a gallery at Hip Gypsy Emporium, which is, it's always a great time there. It's such a great space, of course, co-owner, of course I'm going to say that. But the vibe in that area is so cool. And then on the 18th of October, we're doing a gallery at the Lodge at Gettysburg. So 2 new venues, the State Theater in Havre de Grace and the Lodges in Gettysburg. And I feel like, being in the theater at, in Havre de Grace, it's just, I got a lot of really good feelings about that in Gettysburg. I mean, who doesn't love Gettysburg? So if you're interested in a seat with that, check my events and get your seat for that. So I wanted to talk to you. Tomorrow night is full moon. And there's so many cool things that are happening with the full moon. But I wanted to also talk about, if we're going to talk about the full moon, you charge your crystals during your full moon and your stones or your rocks or your gems or however you, whatever you call them. And I actually, if Denise is watching, I actually she has this really cool display with some of her stones where it's 2 hands. I didn't touch your stones, Denise. I just pulled that over, but you never know. I might be touching the stones as we talk. So the full moon is tomorrow night. It's one of the biggest and the brightest moons. So it's going to be a super moon. And the moon, when the full moon, especially the moon in August, this super moon, it's a hint to think about how much we've grown. So when that super moon comes out, and the one that's tomorrow night, it tends to enhance your emotions on how much you've grown. And there's so many things in retrograde right now. So I have a feeling the emotions are going to be so intense tomorrow night, where we're reflecting on what we've learned and we're thinking about where we're going. The spiritual side of the full moon is it's time to welcome in and be aware of the energy within your spirit and your physical body. So it's that mindfulness within yourself. It's taking that time to pay attention to the energy within you, right? So I wanted to talk about, charging your crystals, but I also thought, I just did a class the other day about medicine wheels and crystal grids. So I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. Of course, I'm not going to go as in depth in it as I did in the actual class. But stones and crystals, they are, made by God. Everything has an energy. Everything has some type of a footprint in it that affects our daily lives. And I wanted to first talk about why the crystal gems, or why the crystal grids and medicine wheels and things like that. And, it comes from the Native American tribes, where the first person into the new location where they were going to set up camp would choose 4 rocks. They would blow on them 4 times, and they would put them in the 4 directions, and they would put a blessing on each direction. And of course, the first person in was probably the chief or the medicine man, but I thought it interesting that everything was surrounded by 4s. 4 is such a sacred number. So there, it's balance. It's the 4 aspects. It's spiritual, emotional, physical, and mental. The 4 parts of life: birth, toddler, elder, and then of course, spiritual, death. The 4 kingdoms: animal, mineral, plants, and human. But for the Native Americans, everything was based on 4s. So that was why the 4 directions were so important. And I'll just kind of, talk a little bit about that, but I wanted to talk about, your stones and the full moon. But I thought we should talk about the medicine wheel or the crystal grid to go along with that. So when you think about your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspect of yourself, that's basically your 4 directions, right? And Native Americans were very in tune with what was going on spiritually and emotionally and mentally. And when you look at the 4 directions, when you look at the east, which represents spring, which represents birth, there's meanings behind everything. So if you were going to set your medicine wheel up based on the 4 directions, north, south, east, and west, you would choose something that would represent free light, rebirth, growth, things like that. It's warmth, it's purity, unconditional love, courage, things like that. The lesson from the south is going to be summer. So that represents youth. So that would include like generosity, romance, the gift of art and music and different things like that. And then the west is autumn. That's adulthood. That's going to be your dreams, your prayers, perseverance, challenges, things like that. And then the north is winter. That's your elder years. That includes your intellectual wisdom, the ability to complete tasks, detachment. I love this. Detachment from hate, jealousy, anger, and fear. And the ability to see the past, the present, the future, and make what is relevant important and what is irrelevant not important. So you can see with this full moon, when you look at the 4 directions, and this full moon is especially important because it's that supermoon that enhances your emotions within you, and it also asks you to invite in the awareness of your energy. So when you look at different stones and different crystals and different rocks, there's different teachings behind each one. So if you were going to, let's say you cleanse your stones tonight in the moon, what a great time for you to set a crystal grid up or a medicine wheel up to also be cleansed and bringing that intention in. And when we think about grids, when we think about crystal grids or medicine wheels, we tend to overthink them. You see, you can read so many books that will tell you how to do it the right way and how to do it the wrong way. But I'm that steadfast reminder to each and every one of you that when you choose a stone with your intention and you place it where you feel it needs to be, it is not wrong. So it's great to read about all these different things and get some basic information on it. But I always feel drawn back to tell my clients, to tell everyone, you need to place it the way that you feel it needs to be placed. When you look at Denise's stones that she has here, this is basically a crystal grid or a medicine wheel that she has put together. I see there's pyrite in there and euconite, mookaite is in there. Let me see, there's sodalite. I see that there's plenty of protection crystals as she has jet, and it looks like black tourmaline. There's Apache tear, there's agate, there's a quartz that's right in the middle. Looks like carnelian. So, whoops, I don't want to spill them. That would not be a good thing. So it is taking your intention with the stone that you have after it is cleansed and placing it where you feel it needs to be placed. So if you were going to do a home blessing medicine wheel, you could use things like black tourmaline, and black tourmaline is great for protection. And I've got all these, I have all of these stones at the shop, so you can always come in and talk to us about these as well. So with black tourmaline, that is for protection of the threshold, and it protects bad energy. So it protects anything coming into your house. So black tourmaline may be something that you want to put at the top of the threshold of your house, in the four corners of your home, in the four corners of each room, over top when you're walking into the rooms, at the end of your driveway, however, wherever you feel that needs to be done. Agate is great for pillow talk. And we're talking about like a home blessing grid. So you want to have good communication with your spouse. So agate is a great stone to have in your bedroom for pillow talk, for soft communication. So maybe you want to have black tourmaline and agate together so that that soft communication is protected. You can pair any stone together and put your intention in it so that it will grow. Clear quartz brings in light and awareness, brings you clarity. This is a great stone to put in if you have a desk that your kids study at or they do their homework. If we're a place where you do your bills, that would be a great stone to place there. Rose quartz is for love and compassion. You can put that stone anywhere you want. But again, these are the stones that you want to use your intuition in how you want them placed within your car, within your office, within your home. You're wearing them on your, on your person. Citrine brings sunny vibes and good luck. So citrine, if you are a person who struggles a lot with depression, citrine will be great on your medicine wheel. Citrine would be great to carry around with you. Amethyst, it's that calming, cooling, serene space. Selenite brings in light, and it's also a charger. So you can charge your stones in the moon, in the sun. I like charging them in the full moon, but you can also place them on selenite, and that will charge them as well. And charging them just means bringing energy back into them. They get, okay. Nellie and Benny are here. Nellie must be dreaming. I just heard her crying a little bit. So how often you charge your stones is totally up to you. You may carry stones around with you and all of a sudden it doesn't give you the same feeling that it did before. You know what? Pop it in the sun, charge it in the moonlight, put your intention in it, and allow that energy to reconnect with you. Carnelian is great for building a creative space. It's also great for confidence. So if you are an artist, carnelian is great to put in your craft room. It's a great thing to put in your music room, anywhere that you create. If you are a writer, putting it in your office. Carnelian brings great confidence with that. And what you could do, well, you know what? I'll come back to that. I'm just going to name off a few, and then we'll talk about some different stones and how you can put them together. So aventurine is for giving family bonds. And aventurine helps you to create that family bond within, of course, your friends and family that are around. But it makes that bond even tighter. Lapis, dream work, fights off psychic attacks. So lapis, of course, is great for in the bedroom, for dreaming, for setting goals, for visualizing. Pyrite is protection. It's also good luck. And it's called the stone of the golden ideas. Let's see. Smoky quartz dissipates bad energy. Labradorite, easy communication, the stone of transformation. Black obsidian shifts stagnant energy and protects against psychic attacks. And black onyx is moving out of a painful space. So I just have a couple stones here, but let's just say you are moving into a home, a new home that just feels a little bit stagnant for you. So you would take some different stones and you could make a circle out of them. You could make a square out of them. You could put them in in hands, but you're setting your intention with them. So black obsidian, when you're moving to a new location, black obsidian is great to use because it shifts stagnant energy. So you would just hold this, black obsidian, and you would put your intention that, all the stagnant energy, any type of negative energy needs to leave this home. This is a home of new beginnings. Whatever you want your intention to be with that. Then you might bring in labradorite. I want labradorite because this is a transition for us to be moving from our past home into this home. And depending on what you want to concentrate on the most would depend on what would be in the center. What would be your center stone? Like in Denise's hands that she has here, quartz is in the absolute center. And quartz brings in light and awareness. So you're setting the stones how you want them, whether it's in the four corners, whether it's in your home, but you're putting the intention in them. Let's see, pyrite is protection, and it's also great for golden ideas. So if you started with black obsidian to get rid of the stagnancy in the home, and you brought labradorite in, maybe you have labradorite at the top. So this black obsidian is also protecting the communication that you're having. But bring amethyst in, that it makes it nice and soft and serene and calm. I forget which one. Which one did I say? Oh, lapis, to help you to dream of the things that you want to create in your home. Whether, let's say you're a new couple that have bought a home and you are dreaming of starting a business in your home, and you're dreaming of how your life is going to look. Lapis is a great stone to bring in. So you're bringing these different stones in, you're setting your intentions. But first you need to have them cleansed. And charged. So you're going to put them out in the moonlight. So let's say you build your grid. I should have built a grid. Let's say you build your grid. You've set your intentions. And then tonight, you want to set it out in the moonlight. And I always like to, kind of put my hand on top of it and do my blessing over that. That I'm not blessing, how do I say that? Because it sounds odd. So when I've set my intentions in my stones, I will set my hands over top of them, and I will, I ask God to allow the energies from the stones to surround me so that I am protected, that there is no stagnant energy coming into my home, that we have good communication, that we can transition, and that we can grow into the dream work or the things that we want to enhance within us. So you're taking each stone and you're connecting them, being protected by doing this. Communicating through dream work. So the communicating would be the labradorite, which is the transition and the dream work. Boy, when I thought about this morning, it sounded a lot easier to talk about than it actually is. It's kind of one of those things that you almost have to visualize what you're doing. But I just wanted to talk about how important it is that in this, in the way that things are right now, that we are going back to the old medicines. We're going back to, a spoonful of honey. We're going back to different types of teas. The land has given us so many healing things for ourselves. And I'm not saying, throw your medicines away and things like that. But it's getting back to the organic things. And part of the organic things is the prayer and the prayer wheel and the medicine wheel and setting up your intentions and thinking about balance in the 4 aspects of your life: spiritual, emotional, physical, and mental. It's connecting with that oneness with yourself. It's recharging your energy, not just your stone energy, but your energy. I often feel like it's a good idea just to sit outside in the moonlight yourself and just pull that energy in. Take in a couple deep breaths, visualize the moon going down through your body, and just taking all of that in. God has given us so many different tools that are natural within this world that we tend to look over and forget. So I just wanted to call your attention back to that, if that makes sense. Excuse me, one second. So, you can set your color wheel, or you can set your wheel up by color. You can set it up by the directions. You can set it up if there's a specific health issue that you're working on, that you want it, that intention in there, by the place that you have it in your home. You can have medicine wheels and grids in each individual home because maybe you have a different blessing for each home or each room in your home. This is my kitchen where we all get together and we communicate in love, and where we listen honestly and we sit down and we nourish our bodies. So maybe the kitchen is one place that you want to have a different intention. This is my living room where family meets, and again, we communicate and we talk. To me, communication is always a big thing. This is my child's bedroom, and I would name the child that's in this. And I want protection as they sleep, and I want them to grow into a healthy thought pattern and to be able to be wise beyond their years and to be able to connect with themselves and think before they actually do things and to protect their heart. So that would be things like the stones would be, of course, rose quartz. I would have black tourmaline in there, probably some black obsidian. Amethyst I would put in there. Lapis I would have in there. I would probably even put some, oh gosh, it just left me as soon as I was going to say it, some tiger eye or some hawk eye in there, because I want them to see things without actually seeing them. So I want their intuition to grow. But you set these medicine wheels, these crystal grids, these crystals out in the supermoon, and it's almost like they start to sparkle and they're pulling that energy. And then you're just bringing them back into your home, setting your intention and allowing. It's almost, you're praying for each room. You're praying for what's in your home. You're setting that intention, but you have a visual. So every time you go by your medicine wheel, every time you go by your crystal grid, it brings that prayer to mind. So you can stop for a minute and say, I'm praying for peace within our home, love within our home. Does that make sense? It can be I tried to make it as simple as possible without telling you, try not to overthink it, but I feel almost as if I've complicated it a little bit. But you can look up different stones for different things. There's stones for stress, health, abundance, meditation, protection. And read about those stones, hold the stone, see if it resonates with you, and then go from there. Some people will build crystal grids in their garden, because they want the land to be fruitful. They want it to nourish the plants and things like that. So, and to me, some of the jewelry that I wear, this is my own little crystal grid. It's not that I'm worshiping the crystal grid. It's not that I'm worshiping the stones or anything like that. So some people have a negative thought pattern about what stones and grids are for. It's about using the energies in the items that are around us that God has given us, that the universe gave us. There's a reason why, here, this one's kind of on the top. All right. So this is ruby and fuchsite, right? There's a reason why this stone was made the way that it was. It's not an accident. There's the green, there's like a purple in it, and it has some flecks in it, and there's a reason why. God put certain things to do certain things. So why wouldn't you read about this and find out what's the energy behind this? How does this make me feel when I'm holding it? All right. So, supermoon tomorrow night. It is going to usher in the emotions and the thought process of where you've been and where you're going. It enhances your emotions. And with everything being in retrograde, it's going to be interesting. Usually the full moon doesn't affect me. Usually retrogrades don't affect me. So I'm setting my intention out that it's not going to affect me. But I see how it affects other people, and you see that as well. Try to be as kind as possible, because when all these retrogrades are going on and your emotions are kind of steeped high, arguments happen, separations in families, things like that. So it's trying to be aware of that, speaking in peace and in kindness. With the spiritual side of the full moon, it's being aware of the energy that's around us and the physical, spiritual, and emotional bond that we need to have with ourselves. So it's coming back to that oneness. I hope this made sense. It makes sense. It made sense to me before I talked about it. And like I said, I've done these classes before, but usually I have visuals that you can look at and things like that and touch. But I just thought, tomorrow is the full moon. We need to talk about charging your crystals. We need to talk about maybe doing a grid, or charging your energy, what the super moon means, what the full moons mean, and just learn about it. That's all. Open your mind to just learn about it and take in the things that resonate with you the most. You're not going to be right or wrong when you're setting your grids up, your wheels, holding your stones. Whatever feels right to you is going to be the right thing for you to use. So you may disagree. Some people will disagree with that. But that's how I feel about it. So that is my conversation that kind of went around in circles about the full moon, about medicine wheels, crystal grids, stones, charging them, setting your intentions for them, but just enjoying them. And maybe just start with one stone at a time. And if you didn't know, see, I use this as if you didn't know, hopefully I don't, there we go. I have a book out, My Crystal Addiction Diary, and it's a way to keep track of what your stones are and what the energies are. It's pretty basic. I do have some, some information about sizes and the introduction and how to sage them and things like that. But then the back is just a directory of how you can keep track of your stones. So if you're interested in getting one of those, a little crooked there, just message me, reach out to me. You can get it on my website, Amazon. But I thoroughly enjoy crystals and the energies and, just how they look and they feel in my hand. And it's just an awesome hobby, if you want to call it addiction. But it's that early medicine that I feel like needs to come back around. So, couple things coming up, like we talked about. Gallery reading September 13th, Havre de Grace, Maryland at the State Theater. On the 14th, gallery reading, Hip Gypsy Emporium. On October 18th, the Lodges in Gettysburg, gallery reading. go to my event page. You can get your tickets there. You can also reach out to me to get them as well. I do have privates available in September. They're kind of getting tight, but October is open for quite a few privates. If you're interested in hosting a group in your home, I'm in Bel Air, in case you didn't notice, different background here. I've got a group reading tonight in someone's home, but just, let's talk. Let's communicate. We can get it set up, and I will talk to you all next Tuesday at 10:30. And I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about, but let me know. Put pictures of your grids or of your stones, of your favorite stones, in the comments. I'd love to know what you're drawn to, and if you charge your stone and you make a grid, take a picture of it and pop it in the comments. All right, guys, I will see you next Tuesday at 10:30. My name is Stacy Needthal. This is Connecting to Spirit with Stacy. Pray that you all are loving the life you live and you're living the life you love. If not, you're the only one that can change it. Peace out. I love you, and I will talk to you next week. All right, bye-bye.